Welcome to IFENews. A shocking incident in Pakistan. The Islamic Republic of Pakistan must be declared officially as a pimp and the slaves of the Chinese masters. In a well coordinated attack, Chinese laborers working on the CPEC project beat up two Pakistani army soldiers without any consequences, as the soldiers had strict orders not to retaliate against the Chinese masters. Later, their vehicles were stolen and used as a pimp drive to the nearest CPEC red light area. Now the sources are confirming the one of the Pakistani soldier has died in the military hospital. Despite the humiliating attack on his soldiers, the orders given by Pakistani army chief is very clear: not to retaliate. The Light Commando Brigade had twice complained about how the Chinese are using their vehicles to visit, quote, unnecessary areas, which has indeed increased the fuel cost for the Pakistani soldiers working for the Chinese security. This is an exclusive expose and the reality of Pakistan. This is IFENews Podcast. Subscribe to our channel. Jai Hind. Hello everyone, welcome back to IFENews channel. And this is a huge cover-up which has been going on in Pakistan for several years now. But IFENews is bringing you the real story of what really happened. Chinese laborers beat up Pakistani army soldier, snatch his army vehicle and zip away to red light area. Yes, you heard it right. Pakistan and humiliation go hand in hand. Much has been written about China through the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor CPEC, which is actually colonizing Pakistan at a rapid pace. Pakistani workers and soldiers have been the subject of repeated humiliation by the Chinese, with the Imran Khan government acting as a silent bystander, as it is too scary to take any actions against its Chinese masters. In what has now become a commonplace, Chinese laborers insulted and assaulted the Pakistani army soldiers, and nothing happened to the Chinese laborers. But the incident was quickly hushed up by the Pakistani government. Such is the state of Pakistan that now even Chinese laborers are assaulting their own soldiers and are getting away with it. Pakistan and humiliation goes hand in hand, with the country facing an unprecedented amount of embarrassment daily, thanks to the incompetence of the Prime Minister Imran Khan, one of the worst kind of human being who will allow the Chinese to beat up their soldiers who are defending their borders at the line of control, and even with the Afghanistan and Iran. Whatever it may be, soldiers are soldiers, but Pakistan doesn't think soldiers are their soldiers. This is the extent of Pakistan's slavery to their Chinese masters. Chinese laborers working on the CPEC beating up their two Pakistani soldiers, Havilder, Asadullah, and Sapper Fazal, Rahman, without any consequences, as the soldiers had strict orders to not retaliate against the Chinese. So what do we see? The larger picture. The shameless Pakistani regime is allowing the Chinese to beat up their Pakistani soldiers. I mean, to what extent and country should go just for few dollars? I mean, this is atrocious what Mr. Imran Khan has turned this country into. According to Times Now, in a well coordinated attack, one of the Chinese laborers named Li Yuan attacked Havilder Asadullah on the head twice, while the rest of this Chinese gang attacked Sapper Rahman. The incident took place on July 21 on mainline 1 of the CPEC. It has now been reported that these kind of attacks are not the first time. These are the regular happenings which are taking place all the time, but the reporters in the local media are not supposed to report, and police are not taking any actions. And you can see even the army people are getting beaten up, and they are the accused are getting away. What will happen if a Pakistani citizen beat up a Pakistani soldier? So you have to think about this, guys. Now the Chinese are becoming the hierarchy in Pakistan. Even the rights given to the Chinese are not given to the Pakistani citizens. So this is the state of Pakistan right now. The attack was not the first time, the first of its kind, and took place over the positioning of workmen and security staff at the two work sites, Tower G1526 and Tower G1523. These are the two towers which are set up to guard the Chinese from angry mob or angry people who are not happy with the Chinese intrusion into their country. Yet the Pakistani government give them all the security measures to keep them safe from the Pakistani people. So this is the state which is giving protection to the the Chinese CPEC workers. But at the end of the day, these workers are beating up the Pakistani guards, the Pakistani soldiers, and the Pakistani police. You can also see these pictures on your screen. I'm just playing it to you. It contains the past incident also, where the Pakistani forces are being surrounded and challenged openly and beaten up. And you can see some of the guys are standing on the Pakistani officer's car. I mean, this is the nonsense. You can see where the country has now become a slave of China. Even the Pakistanis, I don't know what kind of people are these Pakistanis, and how can they live with these kind of humiliations, man? This is not even humiliation. This is complete slavery. Despite the humiliating attacks on his soldiers, the camp commandment major Shehzad asked his troop to disengage and didn't even dare to question the Chinese over the attack. This is a Pakistani commandment major, okay, and he is asking his troops to disengage, not to get involved with the Chinese soldiers. They're not the troops, but yet I think so they have become a warlord in where they are working as CPEC engineers and the laborers. Such repeated incidents have left the Pakistani army soldiers demoralized, as they know, like the officers like lieutenant ranks like Lieutenant Colonel Qasim are in bed with the Chinese contractors as they take their money and supply local laborers at inflated price. So Chinese are also having their fun at the expense of Pakistan Army, as in June 2019, the 86th Wing of the 341 Light Commando Brigade had twice complained about how the Chinese are using their vehicles to visit unnecessary places, which is nothing but a substitute for red light area, which has also led to the sharp spike uh, in the level of fuel consumption as well. Pakistan's army officials, senior officials, never attempt to rein in the Chinese as the Chinese by their silence, literally by paying them up. That's the truth. Chinese firms pay off officers to hush up these complaints and also the project delays and the poor quality of material used. There is a huge corruption going on, and this is the one of the reason the Pakistani establishment, whether it may be the Pakistani government administration or also the Pakistani military establishment, who are not even questioning these kind of heinous act of slavery, act of violence against the poor Pakistani people and the Pakistani soldiers, because they are hand in hand with these kind of corruptions. This is the state of Pakistan right now. Such is the marvel of Chinese engineers and their engineering that parts of a new international airport in Islamabad have collapsed even before the completion of the project. An investigation found that the Chinese firms allocated to construct the airport has paid off over a dozen of people uh, who include top officer in the Pakistani Army and Air Force, to keep shut their mouth, so Chinese can bring in and use all the low quality and cheapest material available in their country. Recently, in a viral video, a Pakistani cleric can be seen alleging that the Chinese companies have forbidden Muslims to offer namaz during office hours. In the video, the Maulana can be heard saying, uh, "Tell those Chinese this is not their country." When some people gather and protest, they are just scared. Then even their father will let you offer namaz. Today morning, someone who was asking that they are afraid of losing their job and hence can't protest against the Chinese companies for stopping namaz. This is our country, not their daddies. When we go to their country, we follow their rules. Maulana also stressed that it is uh, imperative to make Chinese follow the local law. Even the Maulana and the Muslim community, which is Pakistan is a Muslim republic, okay, the Islamic Republic of Pakistan is now letting the Chinese to stop namaz at the cost of CPEC. In June, China, through its Belt and Road Initiative BRI, signed a project worth 11 billion in Pakistan for two hydropower projects worth 3.9 billion, with a further 7.2 billion allocated to ramp up the railways. The Chinese are also indulging in human trafficking, as in December 2019, it was revealed that over 600 poor Pakistani girls, good looking Pakistani girls, young girls, and women were sold as bribe to Chinese men for nearly 2 years. With the contract, you see, for nearly 2 years contract. Once in China, these poor girls were subjected to uh, abuse, torture, and even sold into prostitutions. The Pakistani community is being enslaved in China with the help of Pakistani army and the Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan. Pakistani investigators compiled a list of 629 poor girls and women who had been the subject of human trafficking. However, The investigation has also derailed as the Pakistani government sought to curtail the investigation to please its Chinese masters. I mean, just think about it, guys. This is the state of Pakistan. I mean, the Pakistani girls, poor girls, has been sold as a slave to their Chinese master, and there is no investigation on it. The investigation was curtailed. The news was very big in the social media and their print media, and also the TV channels in Pakistan took up the matters. And what is the conclusion? Nothing, because the incident is now a biggest cover up. This is a shameful act by Pakistani Prime Minister and the so-called Pakistani saviors. They are Pakistani army soldiers. I mean, army officers. They should wear a sari and go to the same place where Chinese are selling their women. I mean, this is the level of shamefulness. These are the people who are challenging India. Just think about it. These are the people who want to attack India and declare war on India. I mean, Indian. I mean, it's going to be a easy cakewalk for the Indian soldiers, because these troops are not made out of anything. They're just made out of corruption, bullying, and now they are becoming the slave of the Chinese. And even one of the Pakistani activists has said that some federal investigating agency officials were even transferred. When we talk to Pakistani rulers, they don't pay any attention. Anonymous officials were quoted as saying, "No one is doing anything to help these girls. The whole racket is continuing and is growing." Why? Because they know they can get away with it. The authorities won't follow through. Everyone is being pressurized to not investigate. Trafficking is increasing now. So literally, the Chinese are becoming the deadliest virus for the Pakistani people. But the Imran Khan administration and the shameless and atrocious and shameless corrupt Pakistani military, who are fit for nothing but just talks, talks and these kind of corruption, and they are better in selling their girls to the Chinese. The shameless people who is not even trying to stop these modern day slavery, which is happening right in front of their eyes. Such a series of incidents is a further testament to the fact that the Imran Khan government is aligned towards its Chinese master and not towards the cause of Pakistan. So by the time Khan's tenure comes to an end, Pakistan may well have officially become the Chinese territory. And this was very well posted in many print media in India. That is one of them I should congratulate is TFI Post. And Times Now also taking up this matter and openly displayed one small clip. It was a small clip, but I think this incident should get more airtime in India. Our people must understand what Pakistan has become, so that Pakistanis will get interest in listening to these news, which are not available in their country, because it's a complete media blackout is going on in Pakistan whenever the Chinese troops are indulging and beating up the Pakistani army soldiers or Pakistani officers, police officer or traffic constables, anyone. And also remember that these things are happening where the concentration of the red light area, I'm sure you all know what is red light area is. This is what CPEC has given to Pakistan, which has just to please the Pakistani masters, when they come to China, come from China to Pakistan. These are the kind of arrangement the pimps in the Pakistani armies are making. And thank you all for listening to this small podcast from our team. Uh, and my heart is very very sad. I mean, very heavy right now, because to knowing such things are happening in Pakistan, what has Pakistan has become. And also, uh, we have we have seen Pakistan as an enemy to us. Okay, it's a matter of time we will go there and take what is ours. But we never thought Pakistan will become a pimp for the Chinese and a slave for the Chinese. I mean, this is shameful. And hope you all enjoyed this first kind of podcast. I won't say it's a first kind of podcast, but a new addition to our IFENews channel. And thank you for listening to IFENews. Jai Hind.